Okay guys, and we're back. Went ahead and I welded some nuts on the back side after drilling the holes. I found a little set, but I don't think I'm going to use these little screws. I think I'm going to get the little bit shorter ones. And then I got to find a piece of metal for a plate. I did not weld with this all exposed. I did shove this leather apron up under there. I was really worried about the sparks melting through the fuel lines. And at one point, this vent line, while I was drilling through some of the holes so that the nuts on the backside of this frame piece that I made kind of went down and it kind of nicked it. I don't think it cut all the way through. I don't think you guys can really see that. But so I was really worried about vapors and stuff coming up and blowing me up, but it worked out pretty good. And then I went around and I just took my time and I tacked it all the way around, and I had all these little clamps and I just moved them as I went along till it sucked it all the way flat, because this frame piece came out kind of warped anyway. But I got it all tacked in there, and then just kind of went around on, side to side and all around. Then I let it cool a little bit, and then I went and kept jumping around until I got some decent welds around there. I'll have to clean it up, wipe it down, and then paint back here. I think we're gonna hold off on doing my wheel wells. I think for back here, also I think I'm gonna lay some of that stuff that came with the vinyl kit. I'll take you in there and show you here in a bit, but I'm gonna let this cool. I'm gonna go find a plate that I can make to or something that I can use, and then probably pick up some shorter little screws, because I think these are a little bit too long. And and then I'll after I clean it up and paint it, I'll seal up around here with some of that black polyurethane stuff, and then that'll be good. So let me bring you right back, and I'll show you. We'll be inside the house where I have the vinyl kit, and I'll show you stuff I'm talking about. Alright guys, here's that vinyl kit that I came in. I think this is the back piece for the back cargo area, and then the one underneath here is the for the front passenger area. I didn't realize that it was going to come with this stuff, but I think I'm going to just probably layer this stuff up in the back. I may put some of that sound deadening at least through the middle there, where it's going to be away from the wheel wells, so then we can work on them at a later time. But I think I'm going to use a lot of that stuff back there for now, and then once I do the wheel wells and stuff, then we can do all the rest. But all right, well, I'm gonna get back to it outside. So the next day, this thing is all cooled down by now. This is super strong. I'm super happy with it. It is ugly. We'll get it all cleaned up and painted and sealed off a lot better. I was kind of looking at these two sheets that I have. I think I'm just going to use this piece. I think I'll have just enough to make like kind of a gasket for that, and then I'll glue it to the back side of this plate that I made. And how I made that, made the template, I should have done it before I welded this thing in, but I took my poster board, cut out a 12 by 12 piece roughly, and then I laid the factory edges of the poster board against this corner and these sides, and then I just went around and I pressed down, and I got the shape of it, which actually I think it's supposed to be like that. But anyway, and then got the edges, and then took my had the marker, the permanent marker here, and then as I held it down, I went and I tried to find these holes, and I kind of traced around the holes. And then I have like a hole punch thing. It's for like putting holes in leather, but it worked out really good for cutting the holes in this. And then I just transferred everything over to this piece of metal, and then that I went down to Home Depot and got, and then cut it all out and marked the top. And it still's got to be cleaned up, get rid of all those burrs, get flattened out a little bit better, get smoothed out around the edges before we install it. But right now I'm going to go find my leaf blower, and we're going to blow all that stuff off the top of there, and then we'll start disconnecting stuff. I'll probably just disconnect the fuel line and the return line, and then can't tell if that's trying to come off or not, but we'll get the fuel lines off after after we clean, and then I'll disconnect this from down there, and then we'll get the pump out, and then we'll hook it back up, and then I'll play with the sending unit and see if turn the key on and see if we can't get the fuel gauge up there to start working. Alright guys, I got the fuel lines taken off. I marked this one with a silver Sharpie, and then I marked this end, but fuel got on it, and it's kind of wiping off my marks, dissolving it. So I'm gonna try not to touch that so I don't smear them off, but I think we'll get it figured out. But I disconnected the electrical wires from underneath, and then I have this tool, so it's a good thing that I did that because it'll slip over, and we're gonna try to use this tool to pop that nut off. But if we have to, we can always take like a screwdriver and like a mallet and knock this thing around and get it off that way. But since that one's pretty nice, even though it's used, I'm going to try to use the special tool. I do wish that it had like a cutout for like a ratchet or something. I may look into buying a square punch for my little punch tool, so that maybe I can punch one into this, or see if I can't find one of these tools that has it and keep it in my box or my toolkit. But I got some rags here, and that'll help me lay over the fuel tank, keep stuff from dropping down in it, as well as catch a lot of the gas and stuff that might still be in that the fuel pump deal. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take it all out, and then I'll show you. Got that thing out of there. As I was pulling it out, I noticed that the black wire here for the ground for the sending unit was had fallen out, and then I tugged on the blue one and it came out as well. So I'm gonna get new connectors and put those on there, and then put it back down in there and see if it works. I brought you guys back real quick because I wanted to show you guys kind of how I do this, and hopefully we can figure out what I was doing wrong. These little red guys, they're for the smaller gauge wire like this. I may end up having to get like the blue ones because they're for a little bit larger gauge, but we'll see if we can do it with these. But what I typically do is I take these and I look down this end, if you guys can see, and I figure out where the split in it is, because it's rolled over for this end. So I find out where the split is, which is on this bottom side. Oops. So it's on the bottom side. So that's the bottom for me, and I'm gonna make this the top side for me. And so I typically take this and I twist the end of the wire tight as I can get it, so none of the wires come unfrayed, and then I just slowly like kind of slip it in there. A lot of the times I will fold these over, but because this is such a small diameter connector, I'm not going to be able to do that. But if I have to, I can use the blue ones. So I remember where my top side is and where my bottom side is, and then I make sure that I have enough of the wire kind of sticking through sometimes unless I fold it. I try to push the like insulation in as far into this little red piece, you know, the little plastic piece on these things as I can, and then I have bottom and top, and then I get my crimpers, and I've seen a lot of guys do different things, but we know that that's for the red, like right in there. Oops, right in there. So I use the more rounded spot for the bottom, and then that little tab that sticks out, that's the top. And I press the like the flat spot over towards the rolled over like split part, if that makes sense. And then I just crimp it. Now these are not my favorite pliers, but they are good ones. And then you just crimp it. Get it good and tight. And I think, hopefully this time, this time, I think we got it. I don't know what I used the last time. Maybe I'll stick it back on there one more time and make sure that it's on there. So I put the little crimp on there, and you'll get a thing that looks like that little inverted bump in there, and you can see where the flat side was. And that usually I get pretty good crimps and stuff out of doing that. So now we're going to take that one though, and we're going to hook it up back inside where it goes, and we'll just we'll do the same thing for this other one. We'll twist the wire around tight as we can get it, and then figure out again where the little split is, which it's down here on this side, and then so that's my bottom, and then this side is my top. And I go off of like how I'm looking at it to figure that out, and then you just stick it through to where a little bit of the wire is kind of sticking through. And somebody was like pulling up and like stopping. I don't know what's going on with that. And then we find our same spot. Make sure we get it on that little metal part. Jets flew over. Probably edited all that out because it was a little bit of time. But let's compare my old one with my new one. And yeah, whatever I used to crimp these old ones, it didn't do a very good job, which is weird because I usually have I have a favorite set of crimpers and strippers that I use. Which, I mean, I do like these, but I like the other ones because the handles are longer and you can get a really good crimp. So I don't know what happened with these. I might have had a cheapo one, but yeah, that's super weird, super bad. So I'm gonna throw those away. So let's hook this one back up. But that's typically how I do it. A lot of people have different ways, but I've notice that when you have a fresh one and you find that little split, you crimp towards the split is how I've seen, you know, like on wiring harnesses, and how some old guys like taught me how to do it. So that's how I do it, and I usually have good success with doing that. But for whatever reason, we'll take that apart. But yeah, for some reason it just didn't crimp all that good. But that's how I do it, and I've looked at old, you know, factory wiring harnesses and stuff, and that's how they do it too. So I used to, I don't know what I used to do, but I was doing it the wrong way for many years, and that's how I do it though. Yeah, you just find which one of these, and then you crimp with this little bump, this little nipple piece. You crimp towards the split end, and you get a good tight crimp a lot of the times. So let's hope that made sense. I mean, I was doing my best. You'd have to you know, just try it out if you don't already, or if you already know, then just don't even worry about it. If you know, you know. So alright, we're gonna set this thing back down in there though. And alright, so let's climb underneath there, and we'll get that wire fed back to where it needs to go, and then I'll get it all connected, and then we'll walk up to the front and see if we'll see if that was our problem. I made some adjustments to that float, so let's see if it it was kind of a little high from like the bottom of the fuel pump housing. I moved it down a little farther, so we'll see if that works. I forgot to hook up the line, so I just heard it shoot out back there. So it's still saying that it's a little over empty. So I think we're gonna call that good for now. I may mess around with it a little bit, but I think it should be good. I'll have to take it down and get some fuel in there, and then we'll know for sure. All right, guys, here we go. Let's see if it's working. Got hooked up to the pump. Oh, there we go. Doesn't want to. I think it worked. Now, I'll bring you guys back, show you if it actually works. Okay, yeah, it is working. See, it's down there at the bottom. It's about halfway full, according to whatever my level's set as. So cool. All right, well that's done. Now we'll finish up. We'll go back to the house and finish up everything else. We're back here on the driveway, as you guys saw in the previous footage that it was a success. I'm super glad. So now I'm just going to go ahead and end these videos. I'm going to clean up, paint, and then make my gasket, and then get that thing bolted on there. I'll show that off to you guys. It'll all be bolted up, but the next video is going to be doing sound deadening, and we're just going to sound deaden back here from back under this thing to the access panel, up a little bit alongside of it, all around in front of it, both sides, and then leave these areas right here bare for doing the future wheel well mods. We will sound deaden up under there. Hopefully I have enough. I'm not too sure now, but and then we'll do the front, take the bench seat out, of course, do the sound deadener, and then do the vinyl kit, and then get it all put back together and start putting the interior back together. So you know, more to come on this thing. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to do off camera though that you know, I don't think you guys want to see or need to see, but I will talk about that in future videos. But I'm glad that I can drive this thing now. Just got to get the howling rear end situation figured out, which I got a plan for that. But yeah, that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and till next time, y'all take care now.